Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making an emulsified body butter that I'm going to be selling in place of the body butter I'm currently selling. It's not really a body butter, it's more like a whipped tallow balm. I know for a fact that body butters, if they're just oils and butters, they're gonna melt in shipment unless you send them with, that thermal shipping stuff. Like an ice pack or something, which I don't really want to do. What I'd rather do instead is just pull it from my website, and then once all that stock is sold out, then I'll replace it with a product that's a lot more resistant to heat, and that's where emulsified body butters come in. I've sold emulsified body butters in the past, but I'm going to try this new recipe that I've formulated because it now includes tallow in it. I've been loving tallow. I don't know if you can tell. The consistency is going to be a lot thicker than what I've done in the past. So it's a true body butter and it feels really close to what an anhydrous, just oils and just butters, body butter is going to feel like. That was a mouthful. So let's get started on that. Getting gloved up. So let's start with the water phase ingredients. It's going to have distilled water in it. Should I film this for social media? Maybe at the very end, I don't know. I've been very annoyed with Instagram lately because every time I've tried to post a reel on Instagram, it just stops. The line that's blue that shows it's loading, it'll turn red and Instagram will say, sorry, we can't load this video right now, or try again later. This happens every single time I try to post a reel on Instagram. I haven't really found a fix. All I've tried doing since then is just try again and again and again. Sometimes I'll delete the draft, I'll create a new one, and then I'll post as fast as possible because that seems to work. The faster I get that reel up, the more likely Instagram is going to put it up and publish it. Otherwise, if I take a really long time, if I choose a specific thumbnail, if I choose my location, if I tag my product, it won't load. I don't know why. So for those who are Instagrammers, let me know if you are also experiencing this problem, and if you were able to fix it, what did you do? Tell me. Let me know in the comments. The next thing I'm adding is aloe vera juice, and aloe vera actually thickens emulsions. So if you want a thicker, creamier consistency, try adding aloe vera. Aloe vera also is so soothing on skin, so it makes an amazing lotion ingredient. So you can have a water phase with just water. You don't need anything else. But what I like to do is I like to add a few extra things like glycerin and allantoin. These ingredients definitely aren't necessary to make a lotion, but they definitely make a difference. So if you are playing around with lotion making, try adding little ingredients like that. So we are going to have to heat this up, but before you start heating this up, you want to make sure that you know the weight of this whole water phase, including the container, because once it's done heating, all that water that's evaporated, you want to enter that back into the container. So that's my water phase. I just noted that weight down in my notebook. And that's what I recommend if you are formulating at home, to always have a notebook ready to jot down stuff nearby, because you'll be amazed how quickly you can forget anything. Next, I'm going to weigh out my oil phase ingredients. I'm using Polywax as my emulsifier. I really do like Polywax a lot. It's given me very stable emulsions that very rarely separate. I don't think I've had a separation in a long time since I first started making lotion. That's how reliable it is. Although there are different factors that can cause Polywax to separate. There are certain ingredients that can cause your emulsifier to not work anymore, and that's why it's always good to test. Just want to make sure. I'm also adding some cetyl alcohol. This ingredient and the ingredient that comes after it are very nice to add to help with how the lotion applies to the skin. Cetyl alcohol gives it a nice, smooth consistency. It helps creams glide on a lot smoother. But if you really want to elevate how a lotion feels, you want to add some BTMS 50. This stuff feels really good on skin. The next thing I'm going to add to my oil phase ingredients are my butters. And depending on which butters you use, you can really affect how thick the body butter feels, how it applies, the consistency, everything. So it's good to try different butters to see what you like, because I know that there are certain butters that are harder than others. For example, shea butter is softer versus cocoa butter, and cocoa butter is quite brittle. You might like just using one butter, or you might find that you like using a combination of butters together. I'm going to be using a combination of butters together for this body butter. And one of those butters is going to be shea butter. I really do like shea butter a lot. Compared to other butters, it's not as expensive, feels really nice. Shea butter can be finicky though. There are factors that can cause shea butter to go grainy in your products, but it's not just shea butter that can go grainy. I've had instances of cocoa butter going grainy. There's even instances of tallow going grainy. I find that as long as you heat shea butter to a specific temperature, hold it at that temperature for at least 20 minutes and then cool it rapidly, that avoids most of the graininess. But if your finished product melts again and solidifies, that can lead to graininess. This is really noticeable in products like lip balm that can be kept in pockets or in a dashboard of a car, and then it solidifies again, but when it does, it's gritty, and it's because of the shea butter or whatever butter you've chosen to add to that lip balm. So if you are using shea butter or other butters in your products, be aware of that if the product is going to melt again and resolidify, it will probably be not as smooth as when you first created that product. There's the shea butter. I'm also adding cocoa butter, and I'm using this one by Baraka. And the thing about cocoa butter is it's very brittle, but it really does help keep your body butter from melting too easily. Today I'm using a raw cocoa butter, so it smells quite a bit like chocolate. I don't mind. Next up, we are using tallow, and I'm using a rendered deodorized tallow, and that's the tallow that I prefer. Otherwise, the tallow can smell beefy, and if you don't want your products to smell like beef, then opt for a deodorized variety of tallow. A fun tallow story that I have, Kayla and I are now the owners of 4 chickens. We don't have them here yet. They're staying with my brother-in-law in his chicken coop right now. The people that we got those chickens from, they actually gave us those chickens, gifted them to us, which is so sweet of them. But they also own a big beef farm, so they also gave us some beef tallow, some unrendered beef tallow that they had. And as much as I would love to use that in my products, I literally don't have any time to render this beef. But now that I have some, I might try a test batch to see how it goes and vlog that and show you. But I think realistically, it would just take me way too much time to do that. So I'd rather just get making. So deodorized tallow it is for me, at least for now. I will happily show you our chickens once we get them in their coop. The coop's not ready yet. Kale, my husband, is wanting to build a coop himself. Or sorry, not build from scratch completely. We have an old barn on our property out there, and it's quite dilapidated and needs a lot of work, but he wants to take it on and repair it and put the chickens in that. So until that's ready to go, the chickens are going to stay with my brother-in-law, which is really nice of them to do that for us. We have been checking in on them because the whole pecking order thing about chickens, that's a very real thing, and it seems like they're doing fine, which is good. So now that I've added my emulsifiers and my butters, I'm going to add some soft oils, starting with the star of the show. This is sunflower oil that is currently being infused with nettle leaf. I don't know if you can see that. I've just been obsessed with botanicals and trying to incorporate them more and more into my formulating, into the products that I sell. And the few products that I've made using this nettle infused sunflower oil have been so nice. And I don't know if it's because of the infusion. I really do believe in the properties of botanicals being able to be absorbed by the oils that you infuse them in and elevating your skincare. I actually think I do want to capture this on social media. Next, I'm going to add some hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil and sunflower oil and the other liquid oils that I'm using are fairly light, and I like to balance the heaviness of the butters with lighter oils so that it doesn't feel so heavy on the skin, and to help it absorb a little bit better as well. And the last soft oil that I'm adding is some rosehip oil, which is a beautiful oil. If I could get it open. What the heck? Do you guys know the rubber band trick when it comes to opening stubborn caps? Oh, it worked! And just like that, those are my 2 phases. I'm going to heat these guys up, and once they hit 160 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to combine them. I have a haul. I ordered this from New Directions about a week ago, and it's now here. Back in Ontario, I used to live, I think, 2 hours away from the warehouse, which was in Mississauga, a town I grew up in. It's nice that they're able to ship to the US and at a really reasonable price, too. They package everything really nicely and securely. It's like a paper snake. Look at this nice protective packaging. Oh. So I ordered quite a few extracts, and these are extracts that I've ordered for the products that I'm going to be selling in my soap business. It's been really fun developing and formulating these products to be more intentional and to choose extracts and ingredients that really come together to form a big picture of a product. So the first three I have red clover, lemon balm, and tremella, which is a mushroom. I tried the best that I can to choose extracts that come from botanicals that can be grown in the PNW, the Pacific Northwest or Washington area, so that I can possibly try to grow them in the future. I needed a refill on my eucalyptus essential oil, so that's what this is. I have periwinkle extract, watercress extract, hibiscus extract, and honeysuckle extract. And for today's body butter, I'm going to be including some red clover extract, which I'm really excited about. Red clover can be grown here. I don't see any on my property right now, but it's something that I would love to add in a wildflower patch at some point. Another thing that I really like about emulsified body butters is that you can incorporate water-soluble ingredients like these extracts. These are water-soluble. There are oil-soluble extracts available, but you really want to make sure that it actually says that, because for anhydrous products like an anhydrous body butter, these kinds of extracts won't incorporate properly unless you have some sort of emulsifier in there that can keep it locked in with those oils. Otherwise, it's just going to seep out. But when it comes to emulsified body butters, they have that water phase. They have emulsifiers in there that can fully incorporate not only extracts like these that are water soluble, but other water soluble ingredients that you otherwise would not be able to incorporate in your body butters. So that is one big benefit of emulsified body butters. Another thing on my to-do list is making lip balms. I've been making a lot of lip balms in the past couple of weeks. I reintroduced lip balms back on my website and they have been selling so well. I've been using the tallow formula, which has been doing really well. It's the lip balm that I use every day. I love it, and the feedback has been awesome. So that's what I'm going to be making today. If I look tired, it's because I was up until almost midnight fulfilling orders. So if you got a shipping confirmation from me at 11:45 at night, that's why I was up that late doing it. Because if I don't, then I won't be able to get these orders out the door. Because it's just me, it's been really hard to juggle things, but it'll get better. So I'm adjusting my batch sizes to be larger and larger so that I'm not always having to make. I'm getting a feel for how frequently a product sells. And that's something that I won't know until I've seen a few months go by. But it's already been selling frequently enough that I'm able to start to get an idea about what a production schedule should look like and what's manageable for me. I know already that I have to make some purchases to get larger stainless steel bowls. I definitely need to get a really long stick blender, like an industrial sized one, because my little guy, it's really good. It's like, I think it's Braun. No, is it Braun? But that guy, it's a really good stick blender, but it just, it drowns in that big container that I use to make my slab soaps. So we need an adjustment there. Sales have been really good, better than last year, which is awesome. Really awesome, because last year I was in the same position. It was my first spring as a American-based company. And so the fact that we are doing better this month than we were last March, that's amazing for me. That's awesome. I've been posting on social media a lot more frequently. I think that has definitely impacted my sales for the better. And not just Instagram, I've been posting or trying to post on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel for just my company if you guys want to check it out. I have that linked down below, or if it's not linked down below, check out my YouTube page, and it's a channel that I've linked to my main YouTube page where it has all my info on it. And the views on there have been going up steadily, which is nice. Although if you are posting and you're not getting good views, don't let that discourage you. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if you get 5 views or 5,000 views. As long as you're reaching the right people, then that's fine. And the amazing thing about social media is that whatever flops one day, just keep going, because you never know if the next one is going to do really good. That's kind of my philosophy now on posting anything. Even posting a YouTube video is to stop focusing on the views and just know that whatever eyes land on your content, that's more eyes that are looking at your products and at you than there would have been had you not posted. So don't get discouraged with low views. Today's lip balms are raspberry lemonade and cherry. And I use a candelilla wax, which is a vegetarian plant-based wax. Vegetarian, it's a plant-based wax. And I really like it. It's a little bit more brittle than beeswax. It gives lips kind of a nice sheen when you use it, which I don't mind. It does a really good job of sealing that tallow onto my lips. I use hemp seed oil in my lip balms. Here is the tallow. Next, I'm going to add blueberry oil. I love blueberry oil, one of my favorite ingredients. Blueberries are full of antioxidants. And the reason why your skin loves that is because they keep oxygen from damaging your skin. So it kind of forms a protective layer over your skin while encouraging and promoting more skin growth. So the lotion has been heating for about half an hour. And this is what I mean by the oil phase being completely melted. So what I'm going to do is just keep it at this heat for another 20 minutes. I also have my lip balm tubes ready here and my lip balm bases ready to be melted once the lotion is done. I have more burners, but I really don't want to clutter up my surface too much. I also have my lip balm flavors at the ready here. I need to show you guys something amazing. Look how my forest air candles turned out. Isn't it so beautiful? I love that. This smells amazing. And it's incredible that you guys have recognized the blend for how awesome it is, even through a computer screen, because this is quickly becoming my best-selling scent in my shampoo bars, my lotions, my whipped balms, and now my candles too. The only thing missing is a soap, and I have to get to that. I have been very slowly and surely stocking up on my core line of soaps, but because of the orders and because of everything really, it's been kind of tough to schedule that in. I think the next soap that I have in mind for my core line is my raspberry hibiscus. Sorry, not raspberry hibiscus, my blackberry hibiscus, because that scent has also been incredibly popular. It just feels really good to have everything starting to fall into place. And after all these years, seeing those same names pop up, my loyal customers, thank you guys so much if you are watching my YouTube, because a lot of my customers don't watch me on YouTube. They find me in other places. So I'm just so incredibly thankful. You guys are amazing. So my phases are done heating up. I need to measure how much water has evaporated so that I can put the water back in. According to my notes, almost 50 grams of water evaporated. So we're just going to pour this heated distilled water back into the water phase. I'm going to temp my 2 phases to make sure they are a good temperature. Lovely. They are the perfect temperature to be blended together. Okay, so I've blended both the water phase and the oil phase ingredients together. What I need this lotion to do now is cool down so that I can add my cool down ingredients. So I'm going to let it do that. It usually takes about an hour or so, but I'm always going to be temping and making sure that the lotion is the right temperature before I add very important ingredients like my preservative and the extract. So let's go ahead and put this to rest and let this cool down. In the meantime, I'm going to melt down my lip balms. Just gonna reuse that water. And this usually takes about an hour or so before they're ready to be poured. Another thing that I've been making a ton of are my emulsified sugar scrubs, another huge hit. The best-selling one has been my Forest Air scent, so I'm making more to keep myself stocked. So this is the base that I need to melt down. Some hemp seed oil. I add hemp seed oil to everything. I also love this oil a ton. I am melting down tons of things today. Today is a melting everything down day. I want the scrub to be able to wash off pretty easily since there's a lot of butters and oils, and the ingredient that helps me do that is poly wax. Next, I'm going to add some cetyl alcohol. And that's it. I'm going to get this melting down as well. My lip balms are ready to pour. So I'm going to take them off the heat. The first flavor I'm going to do is cherry. This cherry flavor oil is from New Directions Aromatics, and it's one of their natural unsweetened flavor oils. The smell of it is spot on. This is a really great cherry scent and flavor for lip balms in my opinion. So I just add the lip balm flavoring. There's a little bit of vitamin E in here as well to my melted lip balm base. And I'm going to stir. I like 2 minutes, but it could probably be okay with just 1 minute of stirring. Next up, raspberry lemonade. The raspberry is from New Directions Aromatics as well, and I added some lemon lime flavor oil from Windy Point Soap Supplies. It's a soap supplier in Canada. So when it comes to lip balms, I really like them to cool rapidly. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge, and once they become solid, then I'm gonna let them rest for about a day. And then I clean them up and cap them, label them as soon as I can. Usually it's the next day, but sometimes I get busy and I don't quite do it the very next day, but that's what I aim for. I think we're close to having the body butter be the right temperature for me to add my cool down ingredients. So let me put this away and check on the body butter. I think we are finally ready. This still feels warm, but I think we're now out of the danger zone. Okay, we are good. 106. So we are in the right spot. I'm going to add my cool down ingredients, starting with that red clover extract that I showed you from New Directions Aromatics. When it comes to extracts, always check the maximum safety use to make sure you're within that, because it's all different. PEG 6 caprylic capric triglycerides. Absolutely not necessary, but feels really nice on the skin. We're gonna add our preservative. I'm using Liquid Germall Plus. And last but not least, I'm gonna be using a sage essential oil to give the body butter a nice soothing herbal scent that will pair well with the nettle. Oh, it smells so good. So with everything added to my lotion, I'm just going to give it a good stir. And you can see already just how thick it is. And you want to keep stirring until it's absolutely smoothed out. So here is the final consistency of that body butter. How absolutely luxurious does this look? It's rich, it's thick, just like a body butter that's made of just oils and butters, except this one is heat resistant and will ship perfectly fine. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Like whipped cream. So when it comes to jarring this lotion, I'm not going to do that right away. I actually like to let my lotions sit overnight and give them a chance to release more of that water into the air so that it doesn't go up into a lid of a jar and rain back down on the product, because that can be a breeding ground for bacteria even with a preservative. So I let them sit overnight and I jar these guys in the morning, and I will use a wide mouth jar for this body butter because it's quite thick. Even with a high level of butters and oils, it absorbed into my skin very quickly and left behind the most wonderful, soft, powdery finish. I think I'll be releasing these in a month or so, but if you want to make this cream, you can. The full recipe and steps, you can find them on my Patreon, which is linked down below. And speaking of my patrons, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I was so excited to release this recipe for you guys because it's honestly one of the nicest body butters I've made to date, and I think you guys are really, really going to like it. But that is the video for today. Thank you so much for joining me in my studio, and I really hope that you will join me in the next video. And until that next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and keep making beautiful things like nettle infused emulsified body butter. Bye guys.